Hi friends, welcome back. Today we're talking lesson 63, Saxon Algebra 1. This is the 3rd edition, the orange book. Products of square root rules and repeating decimals. Grab your notebook. You need to write this down. So if you have something under the same radical, you can break them up and put them into separate homes like this. I say give them a divorce, put them into separate homes. That's totally allowed. Sometimes it's helpful to do that, sometimes it's not. But make sure to write that in your notes. So for example, this guy right here. Now, if you don't already have your cheat sheet of all your perfect squares close by, you're definitely going to want that. So what we look at is, if we do, in fact, we're gonna make our life a little easier. I'm gonna swap this out with this guy right here. So here's our perfect squares all right here. So simplifying root 50. Now there's two different ways of doing this. Actually, there's a couple different ways of doing this. I'm gonna show you so that you figure out what works best for you. However, I think my method just works the best because I do it and I'm lazy, but it requires knowing your perfect squares. So what I do is I look at this and I'm looking for a perfect square that's hidden in there. So I look at these and I want 4, 9, 16. So I know 5 and 10 multiply together to give me 50, but those are not perfect squares. I want 4, 9, 16, 25. 25 is a perfect square. So what I do is I rewrite this guy and I say, hey, 25 times 2 is this right here is the exact same thing as this. And I have a perfect square there. So if I divorce these guys and say root 25 times root 2. Now I know the square root of 25 is 5, and you'll notice I drew a line through it. When you're evaluating a square root, when you're taking it out of the radical, make sure to put a line through it because a lot of kids accidentally bring that radical down and that's not helpful. Now the square root of 2 I can't do anything with, so that is my answer. You have simplified root 50 by doing 5 root 2. Now let me show you another way of doing this, simplifying 200. So the other way that you can do this is list all of your factors of 200, or you can do let's do a tree like this, 200. We can say that that is 20 times 10. That is 2 times 10. 2 is prime. This is 2 times 5. This is 2 times 5. So really what this is root 200 is the same as 1, 2, 3, 2 to the 3rd power times 5 squared. Now 2 to the 3rd power, remember, is the same as 2 to the 2nd power times 2 to the 1 power. That's the exact same thing as that. Times 5 squared. So what I have here are the square root of 2 squared times the square root of 5 squared times the square root of 1. These guys, remember, we learned in the last lesson, we can cancel these out. And so what I'm left with is 2 times 5 root 2, which gives us 10 root 2. Sorry, I didn't leave myself enough room, but I'm wanting to use this over here. So that's one method of doing it. The other one is my previous method. Let me rewrite this. So square root of 200, you look for your highest perfect square. So does 4 go into 200? It does, but if we do that, if we do 200 divided by 4, we're gonna end up with 50. And we already know that 50 has another perfect square hidden in there. So that means we haven't chosen the largest one. So we look at our perfect squares here and we see, oh, 100 is our largest one. 100 times 2. The square root of 100 is 10, so we have 10 root 2. I think this method is much faster than doing our factor tree here and breaking it all out like that, but that is totally up to you. So what about 147? 147. So what you can do is hit 147 divided by 4, divided by 9, divided by 16. I happen to know 147 is one of my favorites because this is a 7. So 147 divided by 4, no. Because it's a decimal. 147 divided by 9, no. 147 divided by 16, no. Next one is 25, and we know it's not going to be 25 because that would be something that ends like, think dollars, right? It would end in 25, 50, or $1. Not 36, but 49. 147 divided by 49 gives me 3. Aha! So we have 49 root 3. The square root of 49 is 7, so our answer is 7 root 3. If you weren't sure, you can always, so I sit there and I divide all the way up through like 10. 7 is usually where you can stop, 7 or 8. And then that way you know, but you can also add this up. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 7 will give you 12. So does 3 go into 12? Yes. So 3 is also going to go into 147. So you could use your calculator, divide 147 divided by 3, be like, oh, it's 49. Yeah, that's a perfect square. Beautiful. 108. So 108, 1 plus 0 plus 8 is 9. Does 9 go into 9? Yes. So 9 is also going to go into this number. So I want to show you what happens. If we do 108 divided by 9, we get 12. So we get root 9, root 12. The square root of 9 we know is 3. So we have 3 root 12. But wait a second, there is still a perfect square hidden in 12. 4 goes into 12. So we have 3 times root 4 times root 3. So now what we have is the square root of 4 is 2. So we have 3 times 2, root 3. So that's 6 root 3. What we should have done is chosen the largest perfect square that goes into there, and that would have been root 36. So if we have 108, root 36 divided by root 3, the square root of 36 is 6 root 3. So either method works. If you need to do a double step, that's fine. Or if you find the largest perfect square, that will work. All right, so the next part of this is our practice. So take a moment. I want you to memorize these guys right here, and then do these practice problems, including D here. And so pause the video, do those, and then come on back. Okay. So for these guys right here, this one is going to be the highest perfect square is root 25. Root 25 times 3. Square root of 25 is 5. 5 root 3. That is your answer reduced. 200. That is going to be the square root of 100 and the square root of 2. Square root of 100 is 10. 10 root 2. All right, 189. You know, to be honest, I don't know what goes into 189, so we're going to do 189 divided by 4. Nope, 189 divided by 9. Yes. So we've got root 9, root 21. Square root of 9 is 3, root 21. But wait, there is, well, no, the only thing, because 21 just breaks down to 3 and 7, and those are not perfect squares, so there's no other perfect squares hidden in there. And if we back up here, if we did this, 8 plus 1 plus 9 is 18. Does 9 go into 18? Yes. So then 9 is also going to go into 189. So that's a helpful little trick. 0.16 with a line over just the 6 part, that as a fraction is 1 over 6. Just memorize those. That's the easiest way to do it. You could, memorizing those is just the easiest way to make sure. So making sure we got the right answers. All right. Thank you so much for your hard work, and we'll see you next time. If you have any questions, leave them down below.